Hey friends, it's the 13th of November. The 13th of November. Not Friday though, Monday. So only slightly unlucky or lucky, depending on how you're looking at it. Not really into numerology, but hey, all that. So, just got back yesterday from the front lines. Was in Debaltseve, Gorlovka, Yasnook, where else? Severodonetsk. Oh, well, it was in Lugansk too. Actually, with Lugansk, you can't even tell there was a war. There's still occasional HIMARS and such flying in, but relatively rarely, since the Yuki Nazis have been pushed back pretty damn far. Now, everywhere else I was, there's still a lot coming in, aimed first and foremost at civilians, random fire. I got an elderly aunt living out there, went out to visit her. Not for long, because, you know, everything's flying in, and the car we were in was a good target. Especially since that type of auto, I'm not going to mention which one it is, but that type of auto is used oftentimes by field commanders to get around quickly. So yeah, when you're standing there, we brought in a lot of aid. We brought in a couple cars, a mini bus, and a small SUV. To the front. The people gathered money for it. We bought them used, repaired them up, and then drove them down there. And then helped, like, for example, adult diapers, because there's a lot of invalids, adult invalids, elderly people in Gorlovka who can't move, and they can't bring a lot of that stuff in because as you're unloading and you can hear the rounds going out and rounds coming in. So yeah, and that's how people live, thanks to America, Britain, and all the other lovely Western so-called democracies that are just shining examples on the hill on how to genocide humanity. Yeah, your money paying for that, for those rounds that are blowing up civilians. Your money. You're up to your necks in blood. And a whole lot of you, the Western politicians, should be hung. Or shot, flat out. Trial and an execution. As they who said once in the West, we're going to hang you. First we're going to try you, but then we're going to hang you. That's what most of the Western politicians deserve, nothing more. Subhumans. Animals that feed off of the misery and destruction of other human beings. Getting their fixes off from the military-industrial complex, the big pharma complex that's providing battlefield narcotics, and so on and so on. Satanic twat bastards. Anyways, I get off course, get off point. So anyways, we were there providing a lot of goods to help people out. 3 cars full. Stayed around for we were there and back in about 4 days. So, we'll be going later again. Brought in some help for the military guys too, besides the vehicles. So yes, we will win. No matter how much money, and I hope the whole bloody West goes bankrupt in trying. No matter how many of your mercs have to get murdered off, we will win. Ain't nothing you're ever going to be able to do. You ain't drop nukes, we'll just drop them right back on you. So we will win. No matter what, we're going to win. Take that to the bank. And burn in hell with it. Nothing you Western political bastards and those that support them are going to do that's going to help you win this. You're a lost bunch of bastards. And all of you people who are living under this rule, you're either going to go down with Titanic or you're going to take them out. That's the only options you have. You choose how to do it. Anyways, so yeah, a little anger with all that. Civilians constantly getting shelled, droned, and everything else. All for democracy. Or some other silly crap. Oh, so anyways, there's this new line that Ukrainian television is now pushing. It seems that this whole counteroffensive, which is really just an offensive, there's no counter in it. This whole offensive that's been running on the Yuki side for 5 months and resulted in 90,000 dead Ukrainians and mercs Too bad it's not just 90,000 dead Western mercs. But okay. It was all psyops. It really never existed. They were really just psyching out the Russian population to put them under immense mental pressure. Yeah, that's the line they're actually selling now to the dumbed down Ukrainian population, as they're pulling in pregnant women, literally pulling in pregnant women to fight. Up to 6 months pregnant, she's good for the field. I mean, good God, the Nazis in 1945 didn't do shit like that. I mean, there is no line that Zelensky and his other worm scum isn't going to cross. But then again, America supports Israel wiping out tens of thousands of human civilians. So why any surprise in any of this? None whatsoever. So yeah, total genocide of the Ukrainian population. And like sheep, they're mostly going along with it. Though there was a good video that came out from a body cam of an American merc who's now going to be fertilizer for the Russian fields. So these American mercs got placed as blocking force, NKVD, if that's what you need to understand. Blocking force to keep Ukrainians from retreating. These two Yukis are trying to retreat, and the two dumb fuck Yanks climb out, and they come up there, rifles at the ready, but not at the shoulder to fire, and tell them, oh, in English, they're yelling at them, go back, go back. If you're not hurt, go back. And these guys aren't going back. So one of the Americans, the one with the body cam on, he shoots a shot in the air, and the Yuki puts 3 rounds in his chest. So as he falls down, and his camera, of course, is still rolling, his buddy's shot down and then finished off by the other Ukrainian. Puts a couple more rounds point blank into him. That's when the video cuts off. So yeah, well, what mistake did these dumb fuck Yanks make? They got on the plane for Ukraine. That's their first tactical and fatal mistake. Anyone else who wants to get on the plane for Ukraine, you'll get on the train to hell real quick. You can explain to God why you were fighting for Nazis. Because we're not going to take any explanation. We'll just shoot you dead. Anybody but Ukrainians might as well not surrender. You'll be shot. Because you're mercs. And mercs don't get any coverage under Geneva Convention. They don't get taken prisoner either. So don't bother. You come there, you best understand you're going home in a body. Well, they're probably not ever going home. You'll be part of the ground in some mass burial somewhere. So that's that. But yeah, so apparently this whole counter-offensive never really happened. 90,000 dead Yukis and another 150,000 wounded. Never happened. It's all in our psych imaginations. That's right, we were all just psyched out. Woo! Yep, that's gotta be, I mean, that's not even the level of Baghdad Bob. That's like double Baghdad Bob or triple Baghdad Bob. That's a whole new level of, yeah, whole new level. So, apparently the real operation will be next year. That's when they get the old people in wheelchairs and the little 10-year-olds to push them as they go firing forward. The complete extermination of Ukrainian population left in Ukraine. But you know what? If the Ukrainians are so bloody stupid to sit there and allow themselves to be genocided, you know, suicide by cop, suicide by Russian in this case. If they're that stupid, anyone is that damn stupid, you're getting what you deserve. You elected this clown and his clown posse in. You tolerate them. You know they're exterminating you, and you're still sitting there taking it? Dear fellows, that's too dumb to be alive. The smart ones got the hell out. Or surrendered. And get to live. The dumb ones are just going to be meat on the field. For the pigs running wild and the dogs running wild. Unfortunate is to say, or however bloodthirsty it sounds, but I mean, that is what it is. It is what it is. And people are too stupid to understand They're too stupid to do what needs to be done to survive. I mean, what the hell else can you say? And Russia's put out every single line. They even made an app, Volga, for the Ukrainians to surrender, to arrange their surrenders, plus the radio station. Now, having said that, quite a few Ukrainians have decided that I'm not going to be meat for Zelensky and his American masters. I'm not going to die for a bunch of Yank interests. I'm going to live. So a lot of them have surrendered. Just in June, there were over, I'm sorry, not June, just in September, there were over 10,000 surrendering. So they can download this app, and through the app, get in touch with the dispatcher that then gets them in touch with whatever local Russian forces are in the area, and they can arrange the site and time of their surrender. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. At least that's the intelligent level, the cream of the crop that's left. That's gonna survive, as opposed to all the other morons that just went out and died. I mean, when they drive these guys up in groups of between 15 to 50, drop them off, infantry. Most of them now with absolutely zero training. I mean, maybe one day on the firing range, maybe. Drop them off and tell them to storm the Russian positions. The vast majority of them are dead before they ever get the first step off, because by the time they're being dropped off, Russian artillery is sighting in. And though most of the vehicles dropping them off are fast enough to get out, they're not. Most of these guys are getting killed on the spot. I mean, they're getting whacked by 1.52 millimeter artillery rounds, dropping head down on them. The ones that survive, you know, if they're wounded, they're dead, because they're going to bleed out. Nobody's going to come get them. The Ukrainians were allowed several times by local agreement to come get their wounded. So what do? Because that's the scum we're dealing with. They use that ceasefire to get their wounded, to position more infantry in the way and start another attack. Several times it happened. Or they're picking up their dead and planting mines. So okay, no more of that. They'll bleed out. If they're lucky and there's enough of their buddies alive, they'll get carried out to be surrendered, and then they'll get medical aid from the Russian side. And quite a few of those Yukis have decided that they're not Yukis, they're Russians. They've filed for Russian passports, and a battalion's worth of them have switched sides, taken allegiance to Russia, and are now fighting the Ukrainians. They decided, fuck Ukraine, fuck America, fuck the UK, fuck the whole West, we're Russians. And they decided correctly. You see, a Hahol is a Russian that's degenerated into a subhuman. That's what a Hahol is. And these guys decided, we're not degenerates. We're regenerating into normal human beings, into Russians. So they're fighting the Nazis that America loves and supports and puts in power. Congratulations, United States. I'm pretty sure if your grandfathers could climb out of a grave and choke your asses to death, they would. The men that died in Normandy would have been bitch slapping their grandkids and their kids for what you're supporting. I mean, Christ. Disgusting subhuman behavior. Supporting out-and-out Nazis. Everywhere. Anyways, sorry, digressed about the degradation. Alright. Go with God.